Hey there, fellow traveler. Welcome aboard Travel Vibes, where we navigate the high seas of cruising wisdom, without the drama and without the tourist traps. Now let me ask you this. Have you ever stepped onto a cruise ship, smiled at that familiar welcome drink, and then thought, wait, where's my soda? And why is my cabin door decoration now a fire hazard? If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Cruising in 2025 isn't what it used to be. Not long ago, setting sail felt like slipping into your favorite slippers. Comfortable, predictable, maybe even a little indulgent. But now, the rules have shifted, and even seasoned cruisers are scratching their heads. Whether you're a backpacking Gen Z explorer, a millennial working remotely at sea, or a Gen Xer finally cashing in those PTO days, we've all got one thing in common. We want smooth sailing and fewer surprises. So today, we're diving into 12 surprising cruise changes no one warns you about, until it's too late. If you're planning a trip, or just love the idea of drifting through turquoise waters with a piña colada in hand, hit that subscribe button, because here at Travel Vibes, we cruise smart, we cruise prepared, and we cruise with a sense of humor. Ready? Let's set sail. Number 1, all-inclusive. Except for that, and that, and that too. So here's the first shocker on our voyage through the new normal of cruising. That shiny, all-inclusive drink package you splurged on? Yeah, it's not as all as it used to be. Back in the good old days, by which I mean last year, you could sip on unlimited sodas, maybe double up on your evening cocktail, and walk away feeling like you got your money's worth. But in 2025, cruise lines are redefining generosity with a calculator. Take the popular Princess Plus package, for example. It still includes drinks, but only one per order. So no, you can't grab a piña colada for yourself and a soda for your partner at the same time. Oh, and canned sodas? Kicked overboard. And if you used to enjoy a double pour to wind down? Sorry, friend. That luxury has sailed. For American travelers, especially those booking family trips, solo escapes, or finally cashing in that long-delayed honeymoon, this feels like a sneaky move. You're budgeting carefully, looking for value, and suddenly the fine print gets bigger than the buffet menu. But here's the twist. Savvy cruisers are adapting. Some are switching to a la carte spending. Others are finding loopholes like happy hour promos or loyalty perks. And the truly bold? They're packing soda in their checked luggage. Just make sure it doesn't explode mid-voyage. Coming up next, the innocent gadgets you used to bring on board that could now get confiscated faster than you can say Bluetooth. Number 2, the new cruise contraband. What's getting snatched at security? All right, you've booked the cruise, picked your outfits, and packed that trusty Bluetooth speaker for some cabin jazz. But guess what? In 2025, your carry-on may be sailing into dangerous waters. Yep, harmless household items are now cruise contraband. First up, Bluetooth speakers. Cruise lines are cracking down faster than you can say volume too high. Carnival? Banned. Royal Caribbean? Banned on private islands like Perfect Day. So unless you're cool with being serenaded by elevator music, leave the beats at home. Then we've got extension cords and surge protectors. Unless it's a basic USB or USB-C strip, it's likely to be flagged. Why? Fire risk. And also, let's be honest, too many cruisers trying to power 6 devices from one wall plug. And here's the shocker. Portable Wi-Fi routers are officially toast. What used to be a clever trick, one login, multiple devices, is now considered network tampering. I've seen cruisers lose them at check-in faster than their luggage tags fall off. And for the overachievers, thinking of packing your own Starlink terminal to skip the onboard Wi-Fi fees? Yeah, no. That trick got shut down after one guy went viral with his DIY connection. Now it's on every cruise line's no-no list. So what does this mean for US travelers, retired couples, digital nomads, or family cruisers with gadget-happy teens? It means check the cruise line's updated packing list before you pack like it's 2019. Or be ready for that awkward moment when security digs through your bag. In front of everyone. Coming up next, you booked a cruise to relive your favorite trip, only to find out the cruise line itself has vanished. Yep, it's happening. Number 3. Vanished without a splash. Cruise lines that quietly sailed into history. Alright, so you've survived the new packing rules. You're boarding with the right gear. But now there's a new problem. The cruise line you wanted to book with? Gone. Like, completely. Yes, folks, 2025 is the year some well-loved cruise lines just disappeared into the mist, without even a farewell sunset cocktail. Let's talk about P&O Cruises Australia. After nearly a century of history, poof, it's been absorbed into Carnival. Just like that. If you were planning a nostalgic Aussie voyage with them this year, you'll be sailing under a very different banner. Then there's American Queen Voyages, the charming paddle wheel line cruising along the Mississippi. If you were dreaming of old-time jazz and riverfront romance, sorry, that steamboat has sailed, literally. And don't forget Victory Cruise Line, which served the Great Lakes with cozy, elegant voyages. It's gone too after the parent company filed for bankruptcy. Ouch. Now, if you're a traveler from the US, especially baby boomers, retired couples, or history buffs who love river cruising or off-the-beaten-path journeys, this hits home. These weren't budget lines. They were character-rich, slow-travel gems. But don't hang up your captain's hat just yet. Newer boutique cruise brands are stepping in. Expedition ships, all-suite vessels, and themed sailings are rising in popularity. So while some lines faded away, the spirit of immersive cruising still floats on. You just need to know where to look. Coming up next, the ships you thought were still sailing, but have either been scrapped, sold, or reborn under names you'll barely recognize. Number 4. Where's My Ship? The cruise vessels playing hide-and-seek in 2025. So let's say you didn't lose your cruise line. You're still loyal, still planning your trip, and you finally spot your favorite ship on the itinerary. But wait, the name looks different. The decor is off. And suddenly, you're not in Kansas anymore. Welcome to 2025, the year of the Great Cruise Ship Shuffle. That mid-sized ship you adored in 2023? The one with the perfect balance of crowd size, buffet speed, and comfy sun loungers? There's a good chance it's either been sold, renamed, or completely rebranded. Take the Pacific Explorer. Once the pride of P&O Australia, now reborn as Star Voyager under Resorts World Cruises. And Norwegian Sky? It's set to sail under India's Cordelia Cruises now. Meanwhile, Celebrity Expedition and Exploration quietly exited the Galapagos stage. And for the unlucky ones, some ships didn't get a new name. They got a one-way ticket to the scrapyard. Yep, melted down into razor blades or rebar. Celestial Olympia, parts of American Queen Voyage's fleet, gone forever. This hits home especially for American travelers who love consistency. Retirees, solo cruisers, or multi-generational families often return to the same ship for the same layout and the same crew smiles. Losing that is like finding your favorite diner turned into a vape shop. So what's the game plan now? Simple. Before you book, check the ship's history. Google the name, see if it's been sold, and read the latest reviews post-refit. That way, you'll know if you're getting a nostalgia trip or just a surprise in disguise. Coming up, forget the ships. Some of your dream destinations have quietly closed their doors to cruise ships altogether. You won't believe which ports said, no more. Number 5. Closed for cruising. Gorgeous ports that no longer want us. Just when you finally saved up for that dream cruise to Santorini or that quaint New England leaf-peeping trip, bam, the itinerary changes and nobody asked you first. That's because in 2025, some of the most postcard-perfect ports have politely and not so politely closed their gates to cruise ships. And let's be honest, it's a little heartbreaking. Let's start with Santorini, where the views are iconic, but the visitor numbers, out of control. The result? A strict cap on how many ships and passengers can dock each day. Earthquakes in the region didn't help either. Bar Harbor, Maine, beloved by American fall cruisers for its lobster rolls and coastal charm, now limits ships to just 1,000 guests per day. That's total, not per ship, total. Even Labadee, Royal Caribbean's own private paradise in Haiti, has been pulled from itineraries this year due to civil unrest. Not so private now, huh? And then there's Ísafjordur, Iceland, a dream stop on Arctic routes. Now capped at 5,000 visitors per day. Miss the quota? You're rerouted. No Northern Lights for you. If you're an American cruiser, especially one traveling with a big group, booking far in advance, or cruising during peak seasons, this matters. Because these itinerary shifts often happen after you've picked your cruise, not before. So what's the fix? Look for itineraries with alternative ports that are still scenic but less overwhelmed. Think Split instead of Dubrovnik, or Trieste instead of Venice. Your Instagram will still thank you. Next up, Some ports are technically still open, but may leave you wondering if it's better to just stay on the ship. Number 6. Tread lightly. Ports that wave a yellow flag, not a welcome mat. So you've made it to a port that didn't shut down or limit passengers. Hooray, right? Well, not so fast. In 2025, some ports are still technically open but carry a big ol' "Proceed with Caution" label. Think of them like that sketchy gas station on a road trip. It's open, but you're not thrilled to be there after sunset. Let's start with Jamaica, Honduras, and Guatemala. Gorgeous destinations with rich culture, stunning beaches, and, unfortunately, U.S. State Department travel advisories. Then there's Colombia, Trinidad and Tobago, and even Papua New Guinea. All breathtaking, all recently bumped to a level 3 warning. Reconsider travel. And for the adventurous types looking to channel their inner Indiana Jones? Yes, even Egypt is on the caution list in certain regions. Now for American cruise-goers, especially solo female travelers, older couples, and families with teens, this can feel unsettling. You want the cultural experience, but not at the cost of safety or peace of mind. So, what's the strategy? Stick with ship-sponsored excursions. They're vetted, insured, and safer. Avoid wandering alone off the pier, even if you're just looking for Wi-Fi. And hey, it's totally okay to stay on board and enjoy the spa, empty pool, or quiet buffet while everyone else braves the chaos. Bottom line, if you've got to stop at one of these yellow flag ports, do your homework. And don't feel guilty if you opt to sip coffee on deck 10 instead of chasing adventure on shore. Up next, you thought booking the cruise was the hard part. But now you need a new kind of travel doc. Welcome to the jungle of entry forms, digital authorizations, and pre-arrival apps. Number 7. Digital jungle ahead. Why cruising now comes with homework. Remember when all you needed for a cruise was your passport, a sun hat, and maybe a good pair of flip-flops? Well, welcome to cruising in 2025, where your travel prep feels more like applying for college, and your flip-flops don't count for extra credit. Nowadays, it's not just your passport, it's ETAs, ETS, EES, QR codes, arrival apps, online declarations, and a full-blown digital paper trail that starts the moment you book your cruise. Let's break it down for our US-based cruise lovers. Whether you're a retired snowbird heading to the Caribbean, a first-time cruiser exploring Europe, or a millennial couple planning a baby moon at sea, heading to Canada, Australia, or New Zealand, you'll need an ETA, electronic travel authorization. Going to Europe? You won't need the ETS just yet. It's delayed to 2026. But the EES system is rolling in hot, complete with fingerprint scans and facial recognition at borders. Sailing to Japan or the Philippines? Better download the entry apps and submit digital customs info before you land, or risk getting stuck in the slow lane at immigration. And here's the kicker. Sometimes even the cruise line doesn't tell you about these forms until the last minute. Surprise! So, what's the trick? Seasoned cruisers now swear by keeping a pre-departure checklist. Yep, an actual printed list taped to the fridge. Because nothing ruins embarkation day like realizing you missed a QR code that unlocks the customs portal to paradise. Up next, you've cleared security, filed your forms, made it to the port, and boom, someone tells you there's now a fee just to step off the ship. Number 8. Surprise! That port stop costs extra now, and it's just the beginning. You finally made it to your dream destination. The sun is shining, the coastline is calling, and just as you're about to step off the ship, someone says, "Did you pay your port tax yet?" Wait, what? Welcome to 2025, where some of the world's most popular cruise ports are charging you just to exist near them. And these fees? They're sneakier than a seagull eyeing your shrimp cocktail. Let's start with Venice. After a trial run, the city has made it official. Cruise visitors now pay an entry fee, €5 if you prepay, €10 if you procrastinate. That's per person, even if you're just strolling over a few bridges and taking a selfie with a gondola. Next, Iceland raised the stakes with a bold $19 per person per port day. So, if your itinerary includes 5 Icelandic stops, that's almost $100 per head before you've even bought a wool sweater. Mexico, not to be left out, has introduced a modest-sounding $5 fee per cruiser this year, but with plans to gradually increase it every year. That taco tour just got pricier. For U.S. travelers, especially families, retirees on a fixed income, or budget-conscious solo cruisers, these surprise charges can add up fast, and they're not always included in your booking cost. Some cruise lines bundle them in quietly, others tack them onto your onboard bill like a mystery side dish you didn't order. So how do you avoid the financial ambush? Check the cruise fare breakdown before you book. Look for the words "port taxes included," and when in doubt, ask. Coming up, we move from fees to flair, and trust us, it's not what you hang on your cabin door anymore, or at least, it better not be. Number 9. Cute or canceled. The new rules on cruise cabin creativity. Okay, so you've paid your port fees, filled out all the forms, and finally made it to your stateroom. You're excited, you're festive, and you've got the perfect cabin door decorations packed. Sparkly banners, a pineapple magnet, maybe even a happy anniversary sign. But hold it right there, Picasso. That door art might get you written up. In 2025, cruise culture is tightening its belt, and we don't just mean dress codes. Cruise lines are cracking down on what used to be cute traditions. You know, the fun stuff passengers used to do to personalize their cabin doors. First off, everything must now be made of fire-retardant materials. Yep, your paper streamer from the dollar store? A fire hazard. Your glittery foam cutouts? Potential ship-sinking dangers, apparently. And then there's the now infamous upside-down pineapple. Believe it or not, some folks were using it as a not-so-secret signal for, social networking of the adult variety. Carnival said nope and banned it outright. Even Norwegian Cruise Line took it a step further and banned all door decorations, just to keep things simple and, well, flame-resistant. Now, if you're an American cruiser who loves a little flair, maybe you're traveling with a group, celebrating retirement, or just want your grandkids to find your room easily, it's frustrating. But rules are rules. The good news? You can still have fun. Bring matching shirts. Decorate inside your cabin. Use cruise-approved magnets or stick-ons labeled fire-safe. You can be festive, just not flammable. Up next, the cruise experience itself is changing, and depending on your travel style, you might feel like you're either being pampered or penny-pinched. Number 10. C-Class Divide: Why Cruising Feels More Like Flying First or Coach. There was a time, not long ago, when cruising felt kinda equal. Whether you booked an interior cabin or a balcony suite, you still got the same shows, the same buffet, and let's be honest, the same towel animals. But in 2025, there's a growing cruise class divide. And no, we're not being dramatic. If you're a US-based traveler, maybe a retired couple on a fixed income, a millennial chasing value, or a big family traveling on a tight budget, this shift is something to watch. Let's break it down. Basic cabins have gotten more basic, smaller storage, fewer included perks, and some even charge extra for things like daily cleaning or room service. Meanwhile, luxury suites are looking more like boutique hotel penthouses. Think private lounges, butlers, priority access, and even exclusive restaurants regular guests can't enter. The result? 2 very different cruise experiences, happening on the same ship. Now, this doesn't mean budget cruisers are getting a raw deal, but it does mean you need to plan smart. Want a balcony feel without paying for it? Book a high-deck inside room near a public viewing area. Want to dine fancy? Some specialty restaurants offer lunch menus at half the dinner price. And for those splurging on suites, great. But remember, many of the most memorable cruise moments still come from simple pleasures. A sunrise on deck, live music in the atrium, or that one waiter who remembers your name and your dessert order. Coming up next, how the most seasoned cruisers are quietly navigating all these changes and making the most of every cruise, no matter the budget. Number 11. Smooth Sailing Secrets: How Smart Cruisers Stay Ahead in 2025. At this point, you might be thinking, with all these changes, is cruising still even fun? Absolutely. You just need to cruise smarter, not harder. In 2025, the most seasoned cruisers aren't the ones with the fanciest suite or the biggest luggage. They're the ones who adapt fast, plan ahead, and travel like they've read the captain's log before the ship even leaves port. They've quietly leveled up their game. Instead of skimping on travel insurance, they invest in policies that cover missed ports, sudden reroutes, and that one-in-a-million storm delay. They don't cut it close on flights either. They fly in early, give themselves breathing room, and never risk missing embarkation over a late connection. You'll find them checking entry rules weeks in advance, not panicking at the gate over a missing QR code. And when it comes to cabins? Oh, they've memorized the deck plans. They know exactly where the quiet corners are, how to avoid noisy lounges, and which rooms get early morning sun. They don't overpack, but they pack smart. Multi-use items, cruise-approved tech, and a backup charger for everything. Because hey, when your phone dies mid-port day, so does your peace of mind. But perhaps what sets them apart the most? It's not their planning. It's their mindset. They stay curious, flexible, and calm, treating hiccups as part of the adventure, not a reason to melt down. And you know what? You can cruise this way too. No membership required, just awareness, prep, and maybe a little help from Travel Vibes. Coming up next, let's wrap this voyage with something even more valuable than tips. The reason we cruise in the first place. Number 12, rediscover the magic. Why cruising still captivates us in 2025. Let's be honest, cruising in 2025 isn't as simple as it used to be. There are more rules, more forms, more wait, I can't bring that moments. And yet, people are still cruising. Still booking months in advance. Still stepping on board with wide eyes and big smiles. Why? Because no amount of paperwork or policy changes can take away that feeling. That first breath of sea air as the ship pulls away from port. That quiet sunrise when you sip coffee with nothing but ocean on the horizon. That laughter over shared tables at dinner. The applause in the theater. The sound of live piano in the atrium at midnight. It's connection. It's discovery. It's stepping away from daily life to find something slower, softer, and a little bit magical. For American cruisers, whether you're chasing your retirement dream, traveling solo for the first time, or bringing the grandkids for a memory-making trip, it's not about how perfect the cruise is, it's about how it makes you feel. And yes, cruising is changing. But so are we. We're wiser now, more adaptable, and definitely better at packing. So here's the truth. If you come aboard with open eyes, a curious heart, and maybe a printout of your QR codes, cruising can still be one of the greatest adventures of your life. And the best part? The ocean never changes. So after all these changes, updates, and unexpected curveballs, maybe you're wondering, is it still worth it? Absolutely. 1,000 times yes. Because cruising has never just been about the ship. It's about what it unlocks in you. The freedom to wander. The courage to slow down. The joy of watching the sun dip into the sea with people you love, or even with a quiet moment to yourself. Yes, the landscape is changing. But the ocean? She's still waiting. Still wide, still wild, still whispering your name. So plan smart, pack wiser, expect the unexpected, and then let go. Let the ship carry you, not just across the water, but towards something bigger. Connection, wonder, and a version of you that still knows how to be amazed. And if this video gave you even one useful tip or one good laugh, drop us a like, hit subscribe, and share it with a fellow traveler who needs a little wanderlust today. Until next time, stay curious and keep sailing forward. This is Travel Vibes, signing off. See you on deck.